Oh, that's how you're gonna end it? This is so frustrating. The Patient is an FX and Hulu original miniseries and stars Steve Carell and Domhnall Gleeson. It tells the story of a psychotherapist who recently lost his wife, finding himself held prisoner by a serial killer with an unusual request to curb his homicidal urges. Now, I was immediately sold on the show with the premise and the cast. I love Steve Carell as a performer, whether that's obviously his performance in The Office as Michael Scott, one of the most critically acclaimed shows of all time, and one of the best characters in any TV show, easily. But also his more serious performance in stuff like Foxcatcher. That is a riveting performance from him. Also, Beautiful Boy. He has proven that he can do both comedy and drama masterfully. Then you have Domhnall Gleeson on the other hand, who is in one of my favorite movies of all time, About Time. He is so charming in that movie. He does a great job in a romance movie, but then he can also do great serious role like this. And I'm always a sucker for a good miniseries, so I knew that I had to check this one out. And I liked it at first, but it quickly fell into a very frustrating show for me. Before we get any further into this review, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy the rest of it, and comment down below what are your thoughts on The Patient. But let's keep talking about the show. And I'll start off with my positives because, like I mentioned, the actors here in the show are great, and you would expect nothing else from them. This is a Steve Carell and Domhnall Gleeson show. They have to really convey a lot in this series. And for probably a 9-hour miniseries, this is the Steve Carell and Domhnall Gleeson show. They have the weight on their shoulders to make sure that they keep the audience invested with their performance and trying to do a lot with their characters. And I think they did an excellent job. Gleeson's performance is very sinister, but you can also find yourself feeling a little sympathetic for him. And with Steve Carell, you obviously feel sympathetic for him, a prisoner who is held captive and needs to get out, but Domhnall Gleeson just won't let him go. And they do a good job at expanding the characters and making you feel for both of them, even a bad character like Domhnall Gleeson. He's a bad person, not a bad character. How they're able to expand on why he's doing what he's doing and just stuff like that, I think they played into it really nice. And also with Steve Carell's character, they play into religion, specifically Judaism, which I feel like I don't see enough of in movies and shows, really, I feel. I like how they played into that because Judaism honestly is a character in and of itself in the show. Steve Carell's character has a background of Judaism, and even his late wife was a cantor. I just thought it was kind of cool to see how they played into religion and how big of a theme it plays into the show overall. The show started off slow, but I was expecting that because this is a miniseries with 10 episodes. There are going to be moments that are stretched out, and there are going to be episodes that are maybe a little too short or maybe a little too long. I think they struggled to find a good balance in between there, but it had an intriguing start, and I always wanted to keep watching within every episode. I was always looking for more, so I guess in that sense it's good, and it kept me on the edge of my seat, wanting to keep watching and waiting for more week after week. It can test your patience though, and if you're not really into stuff like that, whether that's a movie or a show that at times can be a slow burn, a lot of dialogue heavy moments, this very well may not be the show for you if you're not into shows that just kind of test your patience and you feel like it doesn't really know where it's going. And I'll just be honest, there are moments that meander throughout, and especially within the final couple episodes, as you're getting to the conclusion, you're waiting to see what's really going to happen in the end. They were just really stretching it thin by the end of it. And I'll be honest, like I said, there are moments that are filled with tension. Without going into too many spoilers, Gleeson's character does perform some very sinister acts, let's just say that. And acts where Steve Carell's character is actually just watching him perform these acts, and it's a very gripping, intense sequence. Carell does a great job of conveying a very scared person, someone who is both scared for their life but also trying to hold it together just so they can still be a good therapist for Gleeson's character. There's some compelling stuff here, and that's what I really appreciated about it. But if I'm being completely honest, it did fall flat for me in the end. The finale is just stretched out, and like I said, the final couple episodes are, but the finale, you're just, okay, what's gonna happen here? Is it gonna finally end? And then when it ends, I just don't feel a sigh of relief. I honestly feel more frustrated. Yeah, I understand that you're not supposed to feel a sigh of relief within every movie ending. And that's okay for some stuff if it is executed well. I don't feel it is executed well here. When the final episode finally cut to black, I felt that I was looking for more. Almost as if they were setting up another episode or even another mini-series. It's just an unsatisfying conclusion that made me wanting more. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily play out how I was hoping it to, and it doesn't come to the conclusion that I necessarily wanted. But that could just be a me thing. Maybe I was looking for a little too much. All in all though, The Patient is a fine miniseries, one that has great performances, lots of tension-filled moments, dives into some interesting things with religion too. But I do want to say that there are some very weird moments when it plays into religion, and almost moments that go a little too far. From what it seems like, the writers were comparing specific sequences in the show to very dark moments in just our history as a whole, with concentration camps and the Holocaust, and it does feel very weird at times. It's a very jarring thing to compare the events here to. It didn't really work in that sense, but luckily that wasn't too big of a deal for me. But it's just a miniseries that I watched, had a fine time with, and then I'm just gonna forget about it. It failed to leave much of an impact on me, and especially with how it just concludes, I felt like I was just wanting more, and it led to an unsatisfying conclusion, unfortunately. I'm gonna give The Patient a C+. It was good, I had an okay enough time with it, but what are your guys' thoughts on The Patient? Let me know down below once again. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button one more time, plus consider hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any further videos. And as always, look forward to more videos coming soon. My name is Ben, people call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.